Hey, how's everyone doing? Listen, it's a great day here on the Bravo with Sheila Network. I am so happy that you are here with me. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I'm sorry I had you waiting so long, but your girl was down for the count. I wasn't doing well, but I am back up again, and I want to get this broadcast out to you. I hope that all of you are well. Listen, you got to cover up your chest if you're in the U.S. and then especially in New York and these cold places, because you will catch a cold. You will catch something. But I am happy to be here with you to actually chat with you about some interests that I have. You guys know that if you've been following me on my channel, you guys know that I have been doing a series on Africa. I've been having special guests. If some of you would like to be a guest on my platform, listen, I invite you to come and share so much about beautiful Africa, your experience growing up there, living there, migrating there, whatever you're doing there. Listen, I'm going to set my feet to that space again. I've been there before, but listen, I'm so interested in today. I wanted to talk about some interests that I have in terms of learning more about Africa. There's so much for us to learn. There's so much, information out here. And I know you guys can correct me if I'm reading something that is incorrect. I know you can. I know you can educate me and you can share with me about your experience in Africa. So we're going to do part 1 today of 50 things that I'm learning about Africa. I might do 100 later on, but listen, we're going to start out the gate with 50. We're going to start out the gate with 50. And so we can learn together and grow together, and I can educate some people together. How about that? So I am glad once again to be here with you. I want to open the show correctly here. Let's open up with the opener, and don't move. I will be right back. Stay right there. It's time for Bravo with Sheila, a place to be enlightened, a place to be built up, and always a place to remember that when nothing changes, nothing changes. All right, all right, all right. So listen, we are back. I am back with you to share just some pointers and some informations I'm going to be sharing from the Black History Studies. I'm going to be giving you some information that I'm studying and learning about. And I just wanted to share the experience with you, educating the community, right? To educate what? Ourselves. That's right. Educating the community to educate ourselves. Let's put up this banner right now so that it'll flow across the stage here so you can see. I got it in gold. Gold is my favorite color, in case you didn't know already. Listen, let's talk about a couple of things. Excuse my voice because I'm recovering from a respiratory infection. So just excuse my voice if it goes a little off, but I'm up out of that sick bed. And I said, let me get back on my job, on my job, to be in front of you, to share with you and to love on you and to support you. So if you have not given yourself a bravo today, I want you to touch your heart, your mind, your soul, whatever you need to touch to encourage yourself and to give yourself a bravo. That's right. You don't need permission. You do not. You do not need permission because you deserve it. No one knows what you're fighting through. No one knows what you're feeling. No one knows what you've already navigated through in your life. So you do not need permission to what? Give yourself a little pat and encourage yourself to keep on keeping on, right? And keep it moving because we know that when nothing changes, nothing changes. And we are here on this platform to help bring about change, to make a change personally, collectively, community wise. We're making changes. So let's get into some of this education that I want to share with you, and you might already know, but listen, I'm doing my own personal upgrade and study, and I'm sharing my time with you. So listen, like, subscribe, and share. Now, do I have to play this? Do I have to put this up for you to do this? Well, guess what? I'm going to do it anyway right now. There you have it. All right. So let's talk about start this part one of 50 things that I'm learning about Africa, Let's get into it. So the number one thing that I found out is the human race is of African origin, and the oldest known skeletal remains of anatomically. And if I say words wrong, if I pronounce things wrong, if I pronounce African names wrong or African words wrong, I'm putting a disclaimer out there right now. I apologize. All right. Just hang with me. Let's get back into it. Let's get back into it. The human race is of African origin, and the oldest known skeletal remains of anatomically, modern humans for Homo sapiens or sapiens were excavated at sites in East Africa. East Africa. Human remains were discovered at Omo in Ethiopia that were dated, listen to me, at 195,000 years old, the oldest known in the world. That is powerful. So, skeletons of pre-humans have been found in Africa that date back between 4 and 5 million years. My God, 4 and 5 million years. The oldest known ancestral type of humanity is thought to have been the, here's a word, Australopithecus ramidus, who lived at least 4.4 million years ago. Don't come for me with my pronunciation. Africans, number four, were the first to engage, listen, in mining 43,000 years ago. In 1964, a hematite mine was found in Swaziland at Bambu Ridge in the Niwinga mountain range. Ultimately, 300,000 artifacts were recovered, including thousands of stone made mining tools. Stone made mining tools. Adrian Boshier, one of the archaeologists on the site, dated the mine to a staggering 43,200 years ago. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? All right, so it's so much information. I'm going to jump around a bit. All right. So Africans cultivated crops 12,000 years ago. The first known advances in agriculture, Professor Fred Windorf discovered that people in Egypt's western desert cultivated crops of barley, capers, chickpeas, dates, lentils, and wheat. Their ancient tools were also recovered, the tools that they used while doing this, while working in these places. And this is just amazing. There were grindstones and milling stones and cutting blades, and there's hide scrapers, engraving burins and mortars and pestles. All of these things is before time. And people, we don't get the credit for when this started. Who was the first to do it? Who was the first to put their hands to it? Right? And Africans carved the world's first colossal, listen to me, the first colossal sculpture 7,000 or more years ago. The great Sphinx of Giza was fashioned with the head of a man combined with the body of a lion. A key and important question raised by this monument was, how old is it? How old is it is the question. So in October 1991, Professor Robert Schusk, a geologist from Boston University, demonstrated that the Sphinx was sculptured between 5,000 BC and 7,000 BC, dates that he considered conservative. Listen to me. On March 1st, 1979, the New York Times carried an article on its front page, not the middle of the page, not the middle of the paper, not the back of the paper, but the front page, which means this is breaking news, bulletin. So the New York Times carried this article on the front page and also page 16. So they put it twice. They put it in the front and said, follow me to page 16. And that was titled Nubian Monarchy Called Oldest. That was the name of it. In this article, we were assured, that's a strong word, assured that that evidence of the oldest recognizable monarchy in human history, preceding the rise of the earliest Egyptian kings by several generations, has been discovered in artifacts from ancient Nubia, the territory of the northern Sudan and the southern portion of modern Egypt. Are you hearing me, people? My people. So the ancient Egyptians had the same type of tropically adapted skeletal proportions as modern Black Africans. A 2003 paper appeared in American Journal of Physical Anthropology by Dr. Sonia Zakaziwiksi, entitled Variation in Ancient Egyptian Stature and Body Proportions, where she states that the raw values in Table 6 suggest that Egyptians had the super Negroed body plan described by Robbins in 1983. Listen, the values for the brachial and crural indices show that the distal segments of each limb are longer relative to the proximal segments that in many African populations. I know that's deep, but that's what it says. So listen, we're up to number 11. The ancient Egyptian had afro combs. Okay, stop, pause, and reflect. I said stop, pause, and reflect. That's what I want you to do. Stop, pause, and reflect. I want you to reflect on that. You must reflect on that. That's what I want you to do. My goodness. Are you getting this? Are you getting this? Let's keep it moving. So listen, the ancient Egyptians, Afro combs, you know what we call picks over here in the US, those picks to keep your afro nice and shaved and combed out and fluffed and looking fly. The Afro combs, one writer tells us that the Egyptians manufactured a very striking range of combs in ivory. The shape of these is distinctly African. It's like the combs used even today by African and those of African descent. Let's give a bravo for that. A bravo for that. The first great pyramid of Giza, the most extraordinary building in history, was a staggering, listen, 481 feet tall, the equivalent of a 40-story building. It was made of 2.3 million blocks of limestone and granite, and some weighing 100 tons. Powerful. The ancient Egyptian city of Kohun was the world's first planned city, rectangular and walled. The city was divided into two parts. One part housed the wealthier inhabitants, the scribes and officials and foremen. The other part housed the ordinary people. The streets of the western section in particular were straight, laid out on a grid, and crossed each other at right angles. A stone gutter, listen, over half a meter wide ran down the center of every street. See, they don't teach you this stuff. They don't teach us this stuff. Even when they have so-called Black history in school, like you might have learned some of these things, but some of these things are hidden. Some of these things are just thought not to be important to certain people and certain individuals. But it is important to us. It is important for us to realize and recognize the sweat, the sacrifice, the study, the artistic things that were done, and give credit where credit is due. Toilets and sewer systems existed in ancient Egypt. One of the pharaohs built a city now known as Amarna. An American urban planner noted that great importance was attached to the cleanliness of the Amarna as in other Egyptian cities. So don't think people, let me not park there. Okay, let me not say what they said or what they think or the myths. Let me not do that. Let me keep it moving. Pull yourself in, Sheila, pull yourself in. Toilets and sewers were in the use to dispose waste. Soap was made for washing the body. Perfumes and essences were popular against body odor. A solution of natron was used to keep insects from houses. Amarna may have been the first planned garden city. Let's keep it moving. Sudan has more pyramids than any other country on earth, even more than Egypt. There are at least 223 pyramids in the Sudanese cities of Al-Quru, Nuri, Jebel Bakar, and Menro. They are generally 20 to 30 meters high and steep-sided. The Sudanese city of Menro, is rich in surviving monuments, becoming the capital of Kushite. You know that word, right? Kushite Empire between 590 BC until AD 350. There are 84 pyramids in this city alone, and many are built with their own miniature temple. In addition, there are ruins of a bathhouse sharing affinities with those of the Romans. Its central feature is a large pool approached by a flight of steps with water spouts, must be beautiful, decorated with lion heads. Listen, oh my goodness, stop, pause, and reflect on what I am sharing with you, Okay, we're almost coming to a close because this is part one. And I don't want to be before you long. I want to hit you off with 30 minutes at a time of this, right? So let's look at 20. Bling culture. Bling culture has a strong and interesting history. Gold was used to decorate ancient Sudanese temples. One writer reported that recent excavations at the Meroe and Musawwara Isufra, oh, I hope I'm not messing it up too bad, revealed temples with walls and statues covered with gold leaf. Imagine the beauty of this. Maybe in the near future, I'll be able to show some pictures and pull up some slides or something to come back and reiterate and show you the illustrations of some of the things picture-wise and what we're talking about here. So, in central Nigeria, West Africa's oldest civilization flourished between 1000 BC and 300 BC. Discovered in 1928, the ancient culture was called the Nok civilization, named after the village in which the early artifacts were discovered. Two modern scholars declared that after calibration, the period of Nok art spans from 1000 BC until 300 BC. The site itself is much older, going back as early as 4580 or 4290 BC. Now let's say about West Africa. West Africans built in stone by 1100 BC in the Tishit Walata region of Mauritania. Archaeologists have found large stone masonry villages that date back to 1100 BC. The villages consist of roughly circular compounds connected by well-defined streets. Let me tell you, I'm definitely going to show some like pictures so we can get like a view of this so you can actually see the beauty and what I'm sharing with you now, the beauty of it. Now let's talk a little bit more. I have a couple of more minutes and then we'll sign off and I'll come back to part 2 really soon. So stay with me on this journey while I'm learning so much more about Africa and everything that embodies it. And I'm having such a good time sharing it with all of you wonderful people. So West Africa had walled towns and cities in the pre-colonial period. Winwood Reade, an English historian, visited West Africa in the 19th century and commented that there are thousands of large walled cities resembling those of Europe in the Middle Ages or of ancient Greece. Let's keep it moving. Now, the Nigerian city of Il-Lif, oh, forgive me, you guys, was paved in 1000 AD on the orders of a female ruler. Woo, woo, for the female. Bravo to the female ruler with decorations. I know, you know how we females love to decorate, so it must have been breathtaking. The female ruler with decorations that originated in ancient America. Naturally, no one wants to explain how this took place approximately 500 years before the time of Christopher Columbus. Okay, you don't want me to park there. I have to stay focused. I'm going to stay focused. We're not going to park at Christopher Columbus. We're not going to do it. We're just going to give her a bravo and give credit where credit was due. 500 years before the time. So you figure that out. I know you got it. West Africa had bling culture in 1067 AD. Had bling culture. One source mentions that when the emperor of Ghana gives audience to his people, he sits in a pavilion around which stands his horses, caparisoned in cloth of gold. Behind him stand 10 pages holding shields and gold-mounted swords. Holding shields of gold-mounted swords. I like that. And on his right hand are the sons of the princes of his emperor. Now, you know about the right hand. You better know about the right hand, all you Americans. Going to Ghana, talking about Ghana, doing anything in Ghana, you better learn about the right hand. We'll do that in another video. But you Ghanaians and all of you Africans know exactly what I'm talking about. All right. So the right hand, I had to stop, pause, and reflect on that. The right hands are the sons of the princes of his empire, splendidly clad with gold plated into their hair. The gate of the chamber is guarded by dogs of an excellent breed, and they wear collars of gold and silver. Let's bring this to a close, you wonderful people. Glass windows existed at that time. The residence of the Ghanaian emperor in 1116 AD was a well-built castle, thoroughly fortified, decorated inside with sculptures and pictures, and having glass windows. My goodness, I love this. The Grand Mosque in the Millennium city of Dejeuner, I hope I said that right, described as the largest adobe, meaning clay building in the world, was first raised in 1204 AD. It was built on a square plane where each side is 56 meters in length and has 3 large towers on one side, each with projecting wooden buttresses. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look up that word. All right. First, I want to say thank you to every one of you who continues to subscribe and help me get my numbers up so that the algorithm can push my content out in these YouTube streets and on other platforms. I want to say thank you to my African brothers and sisters, especially because you guys have really helped me to move the algorithm and to move the information and the content. Thank you so very, very much. If there's something that you'd like to talk about, just hit me up at bravowithsheila@gmail.com. Listen, like, subscribe, and share. You guys have been awesome. To all of you that join me weekly on Bravo, the Bravo with Sheila Network, I thank you so very much. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there where I can get super chats and certain things to help me to continue to build this channel. I'm having such a good time with this African series. Stay tuned for more of this particular topic, the 50 things that I'm learning about Africa. I hope you stay well. I'm praying for you. Know that I love you. Remember that when nothing changes. I will be back for part 2 of this topic, 50 things that I'm learning about Africa. Thank you for those of you that knew that I was down for the count and sick. I am up. You still hear a little bit in my voice, but I am here. And nothing's going to stop me from continuing to rise and climb and grow together. So remember, when nothing changes. I love you so much. Stay well. Hit me up. Send me a message at bravowithsheila@gmail.com. Talk to you soon. Remember, I love you. All right.